So, Nintendo has sued PALWORLD. What happened? Now, like almost 1 year ago, I made a video where essentially I said that it's very likely that either Nintendo or Game Freak or the Pokemon Company would sue Pocket Pair for creating PALWORLD. Okay? Because objectively, it's a fucking stupid idea. Now, a lot of people will know that Nintendo is usually very mean with their lawsuits, with their suing. Although those copyright infringements are usually bound to websites that will post ROMs for new games that will eventually end up being spoiled to the public. Which is something I personally hate, like a game that has yet to come out gets spoiled day -2 and I get spoilers. I wish other gaming company would do that, but that's not something that is happening. This time is different. And what I mean by that is, it's first of all not a copyright infringement. Despite all what people are trying to sell you, it's not a copyright infringement, it's a patent infringement, which is a basically different deal. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but as far as I understand, a patent infringement is basically the formula, if I understand correctly. So basically what Nintendo is saying is you cannot create a game where you catch creatures and use them to fight. Which is, first of all, something I did not think was possible. I did not think you could make an infringement, you could gatekeep an entire category, because if that's the case, an entire industry needs to be fixed. Call of Duty can just sue every other first-person shooter game, and so can Doom, so can Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy can basically ask a patent infringement to Pokemon itself. It's all a mess, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, here's an example with a bicycle. The patent claim is a bicycle is compromising 2 wheels, a seat, and a frame, and yada yada. Accused product, it's a bicycle. They are essentially suing PALWORLD for being a monster collector, which doesn't make any sense, because it's not the first monster collector that has come out. If I had to think of another monster collector which has been very popular, is Yokai Watch. There has been Monster Hunter Stories. There's plenty of these games. What I think they are suing them for is basically the capturing creatures in a ball, you know, which I mean, I kinda understand it, but after a certain point, you just don't give a shit about that. Now, going into Nintendo's site, you can see that filing a lawsuit for infringement of patent rights against Pocket Pair. They are not very specific. We can read it right now. Nintendo Corporation, blah 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 blah, together with the Pokemon Company, of course, blah blah blah, patent infringement lawsuit, blah blah blah, against Pocket Pair, blah 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 blah. Lawsuit seeks injunction, infringement, and compensation for damage on the ground, blah blah blah, infringes multiple patent rights. This doesn't specify what patent rights it's PALWORLD basically infringing, which is not a good look, because what are you gonna do? Now, I know this is IGN, I don't like IGN either. You can say the fact that some creatures look like they are actual Pokemon. The problem is here that you have an entire indie scene to fix, and that's just impossible. The main problem here would be that PALWORLD is doing it and is profiting off of these patent infringements, which it's legal, but there's a big but. You can't justify a lawsuit on similarities, because similarities are bound to happen, especially because PALWORLD is a very Pokemon inspired project, and being inspired is not a crime, because at that point 99% of pieces of art in history needed to be torn down at the speed of light. Now, what do I think it has happened? I think Ishihara has thrown a tantrum. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ishihara, the president of the Pokemon Company, I don't like that guy. I think he's the most garbage businessman on the planet in the video game industry, because all problems regarding the state of Pokemon games are indicating his bad behavior and his bad control over the IP. If you are sad that Pokemon had an early release schedule, it's because Ishihara. If you are mad because Pokemon cares more about the merch than the games itself, Ishihara is at fault. All Pokemon problems are directed to Ishihara's bad direction. I think Ishihara should not be directing the Pokemon IP at all. I think the sole existence of the Pokemon Company should not exist. I think Ishihara should not be in that position. I think Game Freak should be a sub-studio over Nintendo, and Ishihara should not be there. I don't like Ishihara. If you go on my own Twitter, which you should follow, except ignoring all the Caesar King reposts, I actually expressed my concern about this. They sued 1 year later. The game is not as trendy. They're giving free advertisement for the game again, and as I say here, I think Ishihara threw a tantrum because he is essentially a bad businessman. What's going to happen, in my opinion? Japanese law is a bit of a pain in the ass when it comes to copyright infringement laws. This has passed from, in my personal opinion, an understandable jealousy over your own IP, because again, I don't mind home sites to be closed down because they posted a ROM of a game that has yet to come out. In that way, people on YouTube can just put spoilers in the thumbnails and essentially ruin the game for players and not just the business for Nintendo. I hate spoilers, so seeing less people spoiling true ROMs is better for me, because I just want the surprise factor. For example, when it was for Sword and Shield, I got spoiled Eternatus way before the game even came out. This is completely different though. This is an inspired project. It's not a copied project. It's not a illegal ROM that's being sold before day one. It's not spoiling anything. It's not ruining Pokemon's business in any way, because all other Monster Collector games have existed during Pokemon time. They had their moment of notoriety, and nothing has changed. People have enjoyed both. People have enjoyed indie games, other companies' games. People have enjoyed both. This is the first actual time where I am legitimately mad at Nintendo for releasing a wrongful lawsuit. The problem here is two things. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but two things can happen. First of all, Pocket Pair either gets thrown into dirt from the lawsuit and has some hard time in the future at getting back up. The other thing that can happen is that a judge rules that Pocket Pair has done nothing wrong, because you can patent determined things. The problem is, again, copyright laws in Japan are a bit of a pain in the ass. Japan is very jealous of their IPs, because when Japan started to thrive with pop culture media, anime, video game, mangas, it was in a very bad economic crisis. So now they are scared that anything can take the reason of their success away, and the reason they essentially got out of economic crisis away. This is not the way they should have done it. What I think they should have done is Nintendo should have took in PALWORLD and make some nice project to essentially save both things. For example, collab events, crossover events, essentially making Pocket Pair another studio within Nintendo that sometimes collab. You know, you have two big monster collectors and you are the boss of that sector. What I think has happened here, again, Ishihara threw a tantrum, and I don't feel like Pocket Pair is getting out of this easily, unless people being mad makes Nintendo change their mind, because Nintendo closed an eye when Game Freak took inspiration for some creatures in Gen 1 from Dragon Quest. Some Dragon Quest creatures were the inspiration for some of the first Pokemon. And mind you, Dragon Quest has existed from way before Pokemon did. So it's kinda hypocritical for Ishihara to sue over an inspiration taken by another studio. This is not how you should win a rivalry. You could have taken this game as a rival and try yourself to get better. But as I said, Ishihara is probably at fault here. As I said, he's a bad businessman with a very Western way of acting in mind, meaning he wants to squeeze as much as possible from his IP. Also, he's 66 and looks like this. Jesus Christ, bro, what are you doing? And as the Western IP control essentially suggests, sue until the defendant cannot defend themselves and just gives up. This is not the way to do it. This is not the way Nintendo should have handled the PALWORLD situation. This lawsuit is very much frivolous at the eye of a Western fella, because in Japan these lawsuits are probably going to get Nintendo the win, unless the defendant Pocket Pair says that this lawsuit has tarnished the honor of the company, which is usually how a lot of guilty people, not saying Pocket Pair is guilty, but a lot of guilty people usually get out of lawsuits and win them essentially. A lot of defamation lawsuits have been won by the defendants because they said it's tarnishing their honor, which is apparently a real thing in Japan. We shall see. I don't like why the way Nintendo is handling this for the first actual time. So that's pretty much it.